It is going to be the boys of Dorans Alpha, and they're going to match up against mCon. And it is for us, at least, predicted as the most exciting match for today, or should be the most close match of the night. So we'll have to see how it goes. So far, Dan at least taking one focus ban to his name after that match last week.
Yeah, the Gangplank, they want to get it away from him. He's a carry top laner. He played Jace last week, the Gangplank now, and it's really Fyodor and Dan have to have a similar style. They want to do the split push, but they have a slightly different champion pool with what kind of champions they want to do it. Fyodor, of course, known for this Fiora, while Dan plays Jace and the Gangplank. So the Gangplank ban is really obvious.
Yeah, so, and the Ivern ban is just a ban that I think the guys from Dorans just always pull out. They just really hate the champion. They don't want to play him themselves. So they just want to get rid of it. It's like, okay.
And of course, it has been banned against Donny twice now because it is his most played champion. It's a champion. It's his best champion, and nobody really plays it in the Benelux so far. And if you're not used to playing against it, you just don't want to deal with it because it's such an obnoxious champion.
Yeah, especially if you get like the really annoying shield combos with. Well, they already banned the Karma as well, but if you think about like Ivan, Karma, sometimes Orianna mid lane, at certain points you get double lockets,
redemption,
it's double redemption, yeah. It's really, really obnoxious to deal with. They're gonna get rid of those two champions at least, and I wonder what the first pick is going to be. If the Jhin is banned away for Sliver, so maybe they want to secure something for him.
It might be something like an Elise, like a jungle pick.
Hey, all right.
I was correct.
Good timing.
I was just in time. A second later, it was like everyone knows he's going to pick the Elise. But yeah, they start with the jungle first. What they've done so far is twice they started with the Zyra first pick. So it's a little bit interesting to see that they didn't start with the Zyra now, not with the support. And they started with Elise. So they switched it up a little bit. But it's still fine. You see the Sejuani ban from the side of mCon. I'm not sure if Dirko really plays it. You probably could say a little bit more about if he played it in the DCL, but it's overall a really strong champion, so it's not that uncommon to ban it.
Yeah, he is more known for his Graves, to be honest. But I think he picks up the Elise a couple times, so I wouldn't be too worried about him playing that champion. It is sort of like his style. He wants to go for those bursty kind of champions. He is usually also pretty aggressive in the opponent's jungle. I mean, I really think of him as like not per se an upcoming player within the Benelux because, for ESL terms, he is a bit unknown. But I think he's a pretty smart player and he plays the map pretty well. So let's see how he is going to roll on that Elise. And so far, we see Nami and Caitlyn being picked up. So pretty long range, aggressive. Well, aggressive, not per se, but they can trade pretty effectively with the E of the Nami, and then they have to heal from ebb and flow afterwards to heal back up after trading. So it is just an annoying lane to deal with.
Yeah, and what mCon is probably going to pick now are the mid laner and jungler. It's something they've done the last 2 weeks by giving then the counter pick in the top lane. And you see really that both teams have a pretty standard way of doing pick and ban. Dorans Alpha switching it up a little bit by picking the jungler first, but then going for their bot lane, which is what they otherwise did was support first and then the jungle and AD carry. So still the first 3 champions are the same order. So I expect mCon to do the same and pick their mid laner, pick their jungler, maybe the Lee Sin, which they hovered right now. Maybe they want to go for the Fiora because they want to pick it away from Fyodor. That is an option. If they don't do that, they just pick the mid laner and the jungler like they do now.
Alrighty, I was gonna say like Syndra's available. We have seen it banned so often, so I was wondering if they were gonna pick that one up, but they do go for the LeBlanc. And if you look at Daikara, who is a substitute for this matchup, he is a pretty efficient LeBlanc player, to put it lightly.
Definitely,
68% win rate, 4.5 KDA. It is a lot better than his Syndra would have been, perhaps. So maybe the wiser option for them to go for.
If you have a new player in your team, you really want to give him his comfort champion. Let him decide what to pick. And what we see is hovering over Galio. Then they really go for teamfight oriented style. They have the Ashe and the Zyra already, so that's really nice. You have the Elise, which can go for pick style or just she can fit in every composition. But it's really cool to see that Fyodor is now going for a really tanky top laner instead of the Irelia, instead of the Fiora that he's played the last couple of weeks. So his split push style will be a little bit less impressive right now. And I'm wondering if it's really a team decision that they want to go for the team
No
fight
way.
or the Yasuo, or if he just didn't want to go heads up against Denden, because Denden is a really good player and he has the counter pick and he shows the counter pick right now, and that is the Yasuo.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, Fyodor really likes to play the Yasuo himself. So yeah, he'll have a fun time for sure in that lane. But yeah, I'm guessing he's gonna go for the safety lane here. He does need to face against the counter pick, so he cannot go too much into one of those champions. He would like to play a little bit more, but with the Galio, just going for the safe play, making sure his team has the frontliner they need, because overall, if you look at it, they have the Orianna, they have the Ashe and Zyra, and so all pretty squishy champions, Elise as well, of course. Especially against that LeBlanc, it could be risky. There are a lot of targets for the LeBlanc to burst down, so if she gets ahead, that will be pretty obnoxious for that backline of Dorans Alpha.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be really difficult for them to really pull off their style of team composition, because they want to go for the team fighting. They've a lot of engage tools. But what mCon is really going to try and do is get a split push going. They have Denden on the Yasuo, which is just an amazing split pusher if he gets a little bit ahead even.
Yeah.
And LeBlanc is the same way. Even early game, it's a little bit more difficult, but she probably even gets a little bit of lifesteal because of her itemization right now if she goes Gunblade. Mm-hmm. And then you can just split push all the time, and it's going to be really difficult for Dorans Alpha to deal with that.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, overall, there is a lot of AD damage coming out of the team of mCon. So, like, looking at it, if they can keep the LeBlanc down, they can go for an efficient way of building their item paths and going for those more armor-heavy builds. But still, I'm kind of worried of how this will turn out. I tend to like the team composition of mCon a bit more, even though the Yasuo is a bit risky. We have seen how Denden can perform on those type of champions and what he does for his team. Like, he always goes for those split push strategies and just pulling them off. Like, last week was a bit unlucky, I would say, but maybe this can be the redemption for them.
Yeah, definitely. And it just, if they can manage to really pull it out this time, like you mentioned last time, they just could not make the split push work. But this time, you don't have the Gangplank against you that can wave clear really well. It's a Galio, and it's a little bit more difficult for Galio to really keep up with the pressure that Yasuo is going to put out. And that should really be the win condition for mCon. And on the other hand, what they really need to look out for is the engage on the side of Dorans Alpha. I mentioned it before, but an Ashe arrow, it's just so annoying to play against. You saw it maybe, if you watched it, you saw it yesterday at MSI with TSM against Flashwolf, leaving the Ashe open and just arrow after arrow hitting. And if you don't have the flash anymore, if you can't dash out, it's just, if you make one small mistake, you lose all your pressure of the split push, and that's what they really need to look out for.
Man, the feels, dude. Too soon, TSM.
Oh, too soon.
I'm still, yeah.
Oh,
well, not per se a fan, but I just want to see the NA and the EU teams perform a little bit better at these kind of tournaments, because it has always been, well, except for season 1, I suppose, because Fnatic won season 1, but a little bit of an exception. But we always see the Korean teams on top, and I really want to see some more presence from EU and NA. So yeah, that was a bit hurtful against Flash Wolves, I suppose. But not that they're a bad team or anything, not not like that. But you know, it was just horrible.
Yeah, I rewatched the game this morning. I was like, the draft wasn't the best, and you leave Ashe open, and Ashe, Betsy performing so well. It was a great play by him.
Yeah.
But I'm not that sad. Like, I'm a still G fan, so it's a little bit. I don't get too worried when TSM loses. I would have liked to see them go through, but I'm happy that T2 got through. That's the most important thing, in my opinion.
Definitely. We got some Dutch presence as well.
If you take a really quick look at all the masteries, I don't think there are any really weird keystones going on. A lot of Thunderlords as usual. A couple of Fervors. So it's cool to see that Denden, I think he got Fervor as well. So that's really interesting to see that he's really going for the full offensive build. It's pretty normal, of course, because you are the Yasuo. But it's still cool to see that he doesn't pull any punches. He's just going full offensive and just really going for it.
All right, let's see how that one goes. We are ready for game number 3. mCon and Dorans Alpha gonna battle it out on the Rift, and let's see how this one goes. And once again, teams are grouping up, and they're both heading towards that bottom lane. So who knows? We'll get a clash.
It's really cool. Every team has a different strategy. Some just go through the mid lane, some go through the banana bush, as I call it, and these just go for the bush, and they probably going to meet each other here.
Uh-oh. Oh, God. Oh, the ward placement instantly, and that's unfortunate. I was hoping for a face jack here. That would have been fun.
That was really smart to place a ward. That was really well done, but if Amurvaya would have been able to go for his to level his roots and then go for it, he could have gotten a 2 to 3, maybe even 4 or 5 man route there. You don't really want to do that as Sarah because you want to level your Q to Deadly Spines first to really get the early pushing power.
Yeah.
But if you had like a 1 or 2 man route there, you really could have gotten first blood.
And also, Bernard just casually casting his Q there inside the burst. Like, okay, bit risky, but you know, it looked a bit off, but you know, he takes takes a gamble. Yeah, it worked out, I suppose.
It's also really cool to see that both these junglers also have a different pathing than the ones we've seen so far. They both started the blue buff. Donnie even without any leash, which is really sad for him. You're the least in. You can deal with without having a leash, but it just gives you so much more early pushing power, like jungle clear speed, and really your health is just so much better if you go for it. So it's interesting to see that their bot lane and even the mid laner LeBlanc didn't just go over and pop a Q, for example, but really just left him on his own.
Yeah. And we see Ferglift and Dandan already battling it out, both going kind of low, but it should be still pretty okay. But yeah, that bottom lane, I wonder how Bernash and Nightmares are going to play it out, because of course they have the heal to sustain longer, but the risk of being caught by one of those grasping roots from the Zyra, and then the follow-up slows from Sliver is a little bit risky. So they really need to be careful of that one.
Yeah, until level 3, Zyra usually doesn't level her roots, so until then you have free reign, and after that you really need to be careful. Zyra does have exhaust instead of ignite, which is really smart because there is a Yasuo and you need to have an exhaust to deal with the mid to late game. But it does mean that your kill pressure on the bot lane is a lot lower.
Yeah, so pretty interesting one there. But once again, towards that mid game, I am always worried for those Zyra players. It's like, okay, you want to go for the vision control, you face stack a brush, and oops, there's a LeBlanc sitting there waiting for you. You just get bursted pretty quickly. So for now, it won't be too much of a problem. But when we get towards that mid to late game, they really need to work together as a team to get some vision control.
Yeah, and what you saw happening was that Dirko tried to go for the invade on the blue side of the map, but Donnie cleared his complete bot side jungle. So Dirko wasted a lot of time, and in the meantime, Donnie just put a lot of wards on the top side, which is smart because it gives opportunity for Dan to play really aggressive. We see the same aggression from the bot side from both players.
Yeah. I think they traded it pretty equal. Only upside is that Nightmares, of course, has the heal in his kits and is able to sustain back up. So that was a pretty close trade. Nightmares maybe not too known for his Nami, I would say. I still want to see him pick up that Blitzcrank once in a while here.
Yeah, you probably are going to see Stretch before his Blitzcrank.
Yeah.
Oh, that scared. Ooh, that was dangerous. The cross boots could have come out there, but he didn't go for it. And what you see is that Brannice does have any potions anymore, so but the same is true for Fire.
Oh no.
He does go in.
Oof. Okay, Nightmares. He's gonna get away, but it looked pretty dire for him there. I mean, you can only imagine. Okay.
Sin is coming in there, going for the gank.
Yeah, it's in from the flank. He gets behind him more, but flash instantly away, and there's the heal as well needed to keep him safe. But good exhaust, and they deal a lot of damage back to Donny. But now Sliver can go on the chase. Ooh, the move. So risky there, getting hit by the 90 caliber Nats, but not enough damage to finish him off. But 3 summoners used there by the bottom lane of Dorans to get back to safety.
That was a great gank by Donny, walking around the Dragon Pit to really be, to really make sure that you're not spotted going in, and that this puts so much pressure on the bottom lane, even while Fyodor is trying to go for the gank.
Oh yeah, they get the nice taunt and the cocoon right after it, and then just dashes into the turret like, okay, I'm done for. But there we have it. First blood here for Furclift. A nice gank just overall by Dirko.
Yeah, and he did the same as what Donny did on the bot side, really going through the complete jungle, placing down 2 wards. And with them being so far forward, there was nothing he could do anymore. He got quite a big lead out of playing so aggressively, but he got punished by it really smartly by Dirko. It was a great jungle pathing by him, and it was really what Fyodor needed. Dan
instantly opting for the Cull to make sure he gets a little bit, well, a gold build up for later on in the match. I mean, we have seen the Cull being picked up a bit more lately, also by the top laners. But I just find it always an interesting option. It's like, okay, I choose to give away a little bit of pressure right now in the early game to gain it back later on with the extra gold stack.
Yeah, but as you saw already, he could push Galio in so much that he doesn't really need the additional pressure right now. So he doesn't need a third Dorans Blade, for example. He can go for the Cull, get a little bit of attack damage and lifesteal, and it's enough for him to probably just continue to go in, push the lane in, and then go do the crux right now. Get a little bit of extra CS and just really snowball the lane and get the advantage.
Yeah, Donny giving away that blue buff to Dakara, who for now is performing pretty nicely against Muji. Is a bit behind on CS, but it's not too much of a difference really. So far just the 1 kill in the top lane, but still gold is pretty close because of the CS in both bottom lane and top lane.
Yeah, the jungle gank on bot lane from Donny, even though it didn't get a kill, it gave a lot of pressure for mCon. And
oh wow, Muji getting a lot of damage, but he's gonna go for the re-engage, and there's always also the ulti from Furclift. But meanwhile, Dirko finds Donny, or well, they find each other, they trade pretty closely. There's the repel, but Dirkara just jumps over the wall to the Raptor camp, tries to get the kill, but Dirko gets out safety.
That was really dangerous by Dirko to go back in onto the LeBlanc. I don't think that was what he really wanted to do, because after he jumped down, you saw him just walking back as fast as possible in his spider form, which was the right call, because he could not do anything anymore there. Still a fine trade for mCon, because they got out the Galio ultimate there, they got the flash, and they had to use their own LeBlanc flash. It's not too bad. It's LeBlanc, so she still has a dash.
And once again, Fergus going for a battle on the Dan, doing so much damage already. As we see that Donny is on the way, but he has Dirko right behind him, and he has to ward dash away to get to safety underneath his turret. But Ferk still putting on the pressure now to Dan.
I didn't expect this matchup to go this way after some time. I'm not sure if it's because Dan made a little bit of mistakes or that Ferklifts is just playing it really well. Oh, the windfall is really nice to dodge the cocoon.
Yeah.
And it's still almost a 25 CS lead, but it's really smart by Diego to help push the wave, get the recall, probably teleport back to lane again, and really help him to just push out the wave, get some items again. It's not the best for a Galio to buy armor. You want to buy a little bit of magic resist as well, but he really has to go for the armor right now.
Yeah, but still, even though Ferklift had a pretty nice battle against Dan right there, the CS difference is quite substantial already. 30 CS in favor of Dan. So that is quite a hefty difference between them. And I'm not sure if he's going to make up for it by trying to pressure Dan so much. He really needs, if he wants to play that game, he really needs to get that kill.
Yeah, definitely. He bites 3 Dorans rings and he got also the corrupting potion. So he is really going all in on the early pressure and he needs to make this work. With 30 sets behind, he has to close that gap right now because otherwise he just spent over 1200 gold for early game pressure. And if that doesn't work out, you are really far behind.
Oh, but here we've seen a nice stun onto Amour, and surely, he gets out alive, amazingly enough. And meanwhile, battle in the top lane, Dan and Fergus battling it out. But it is Donny now he just has enough pressure by that Zyra just being so low. It gets the red buff, but they were pretty close on that kill. Flash has been used by Amour to get out, and they start up the dragon.
Smart play. There's not really much else you can do on the map right now. You can't really gank bot lane, but because Slifer is smart enough to really play a little bit back right now. So you could just take the dragon. It's nice to have. It's not the best dragon, of course, but it's still fine to have. And what it makes sure as well is that the next dragon is an Ocean Drake. So you put it on the map in 6 minutes again, and maybe then you can fight. You have the pressure on bot lane. In mid lane, you still have the pushing power. You're a little bit behind, but you do have the pushing power. And
but here's Donny. Unfortunate there, but would have been a risky play if we would have hit the Sonic Wave and would have gone in. But I think they could have bursted Muji down pretty quickly. But still, Flash Force. Perhaps we can see a return visit from Donny later on there in mid lane.
Yeah, probably should, because if you can get the bunk at, it's really nice. And that's something that's a little bit maybe a little even disappointing from Donny, is that he went in for a bot lane, got 3 summoners, and then didn't really return anymore. Okay, they did get the red buff by going for Amour, but you saw that he could flash out again. So they waited so long that he got his flash back up. And if you don't make those return ganks, yes, they can't pressure as much because they need to play a little bit more defensively, but that is time to really go for the kills.
Yeah. Game is sort of slowing down. I mean, we haven't seen any more jungle pressure except for that fight there in the bottom lane. At least we have seen the dragon pick up, and it's going to be an ocean afterwards. So, a bit like last game in terms of dragons, I suppose. But we have Dirko in position around the bottom lane. They have the control ward, so he knows he's not being spotted just yet. But now he was walking to the river. They would go for the engage to get the arrow, and they followed up nicely with the cocoon. And there is Bernage being killed instantly. No chance for him to do anything. Both numbers still up. But now Muji may be in trouble in the mid lane. He finds Dakaro. Dakaro finds him. And they try to go for the ring. It's nice shockwave there to keep Dakaro away. Muji dodging the Sonic Wave as well. Can he get out of here? The flash kick there from Donny. But Dakaro just does not want to go for the fight, interestingly enough.
Oh, he's really low. He just doesn't want to get killed. He thinks Donny can make it happen. But there is the Galio ultimate to really let them back off. And this is the power of Galio. He does lose a little bit of CS in doing so, but they got the first turret on the bot side, which is really great. It was a beautiful play from Lawrence Alpha. You see from the Ash Arrow into the Cocoon, into the Roots, into the Strangled Thorns. It was just beautifully laid over each other, and just a great play overall.
Nicely done at least. So they get that first turret, but they lose a lot of pressure on the top lane. But Ferglith doesn't really want to wait for it. Goes instantly onto Dandan, just pushes him away from his turret. And let's see, it's below half health. So if Ferglith goes for another one of those plays, I think he is going to lose that top lane turret. And that is going to mean a little bit of trouble for them. He's already 44 CS behind at the moment. So in terms of gold, that means it's only, it is a little bit over 300 right here. Almost 400 gold advantage for Dandan.
Yeah, but you have to keep in mind that Fyodor got a kill as well, which Dandan didn't. So even in doing so, Dandan has a 300 to 400 gold lead.
And almost a finished goal.
That is true.
Soon it'll be even more.
An additional 350 gold. What you see is Dorans Alpha being really smart, putting their bot lane up to the top lane because they know they have the bot lane figured out. They got the turret already, and Dandan just dodging, weaving, and going for the kill.
Oh man, he goes in, but the flash, even used there from Ferglith. I think he was gonna be safe, but doesn't want to be at any risk. But now maybe Dandan wants to go for it. I think if he lands the win, oh, never mind.
Oh, that was a nice dodge by Fyodor going for it. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, you see the Orianna getting killed by Great Gang from Donny once again.
Yeah, Donny doing a good job. Oh, arrow misses onto Nightmare. Nightmare still has to flash away from all the damage going out of Amur. But they do not have enough to get their turrets. As you see Dirko on the way.
Donny really... Fyodor really has to get away out of here right now because Donny is in the vicinity, really going for the dive right now. And meanwhile, we see Dakara going in.
Yeah, but in the bottom lane, it is Ferglith who is getting dove upon, but he gets actually a kill onto Dandan. But in the top lane, they lose Dirko against the 3 men there. Dirko was in a bad position, could not get away with his repel, unfortunately. So 1-for-1 trades, but it depends on how much turret damage is going to be done. Ferglith should be able to defend bottom lane, so they saved that one, and also top lane is going to be okay. So no real advantage gained for anyone.
Plays all over the map. Going top lane. It's really poor dive there. If you are in a 2v1 dive, you really have to have it. Oh,
nice snare to Grenache, but good follow-up with the bubble. They do have a lot of damage, so Grenache has to flash away and heal, but there's the last auto attack from Amur, gets the kill, and Ferglith in the backline gets another kill. Dandan teleports in, but the 2 low players of Dorans Alpha were already on the way out of there. So it's just Ferglith who can challenge here, but Ferglith really wants to go for the battle. Dives into Dandan.
Dirko is coming in as well. There's a 4v2 going for Dorans Alpha, so mCon really has to be careful here.
Yeah, Dakara is also close by. They get this route. No, they do not get it onto Dirko. And actually, Dakara gets taunted there by Ferglith. And the follow-up there with the arrow onto Dakara, but he dashes away just in time. Does not get killed, but they pick up the turret. So another nice gold advantage here for Dorans Alpha.
Definitely, and I feel like the Dandan shouldn't have teleported to top lane, maybe even go just for the bot lane, because what you want to do is go for a split push. As a Yasuo right now, you are not as useful as a Galio in team fights. You want the split push, you want to get your items, and maybe when you have 3 to 4 items, then you can maybe go for the team fights. But right now, you just want your gold, you want your items. You're doing so well in the 1v1 that even though the teleport of Fyodor was great and got them a kill, just get a bot lane turret in response.
Yeah, and now focus is on the dragon once again. mCon in position to get that ocean drake. Next one will be a mountain dragon, so no infernal for this one. But yeah, I mean mCon focusing themselves onto those dragons. It helps out, but losing 2 turrets in the meantime really is a big disadvantage, especially in this early part of the game. As Dandan really wants to get enough gold so he can set up the split push on his own.
Yeah, Inferno will be the 4th dragon because we've seen clouds, then ocean, then mountain, so the Inferno has to be the 4th. There's no other way, right? Oh, but that's kidding aside. We see Dorans Alpha going for the mid lane with their bot lane. So with the Ashe and Zyra in the mid lane, you force mCon to respond again, giving you the opportunity to go for the blue buff steal, go for the wards in the enemy jungle, and really dictate the pace of the game right now. They have to be careful though with the LeBlanc in the top lane because Daikara does have teleport while Luigi doesn't.
Yeah.
And you see LeBlanc really pushing in, so she can teleport anytime when she has back up in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it is just so risky for mCons to play this game right now. Is they need to dodge every single skill shot in order to stay safe. But I mean, if they get hit by just one snare or a stun, they are in a lot of trouble. But right now we see Daikara battling it out against Muji in the top lane, and also Donnie is on his way. They might go for the dive here. Donnie moving into position, gets behind Muji. There's a slow, the nice sonic wave on top of Muji, but he gets away, gets the shockwave as well, and Daikara has to dash away to get out of there. But good job out of Muji to stay safe, but it was really close. But they took the mid lane turret down. But we see another fight here. Nice taunt onto Dandan. The arrow, I think, got blocked by the wind wall. My screen just went out of reach. But again, another turret with the Rift Herald.
Yeah, a great play by Luigi to dodge. That was really close. It even seemed that Donnie was doing it really well, kicking him out of turret range so he could dash after and don't take that much turret damage. But Luigi flashing out, then having his shockwave ready, just really had some play. And in the meanwhile, Dorans Alpha, every time mCon makes a play on one side of the map, they go for a play on the other side of the map. They're already in position. And I'm really impressed by their play, that they are really the team that is everywhere first, but not this time.
Oh, Ferglith gets juked by that clone from Daikara, thinking he gets ganked, but
yeah, that LeBlanc clone is so annoying. You just think that you are getting ganked, you see the chains going out, so you need to dash away, and then, oh, it's a clone. That feeling must be so awful.
Yeah, Muji getting rooted up by Daikara, but there's still a bit too many champions right there for him to go for the play. But 5-2 in kills and 4-1 in turrets. Pretty neat advantage here for Dorans. They need to be careful still, especially of Daikara. He keeps finding positions to make a play and get a kill into somebody.
Yeah, you see that even though Dorans Alpha as a team seems to have the advantage, in the individual lanes, they still get pushed in. You see Dandan on the Yasuo still pushing and pressuring on the Galio, even though he's 3 kills behind. You see the LeBlanc still pushing in, still doing all the damage, forcing Luigi to play really defensively. And it makes it really difficult that even though you have a gold lead, you have to wait for a pick. And
there, nice stun onto Donnie, and he gets deleted, and this is just a problem with playing against the composition. One engage is only needed, and Sliver just hitting the arrow point perfect there onto Donnie. Now they need to get something out of this kill. They are in the mid lane, but they already took down the secondary turret. So I wonder if they want to pressure onto the inhibitor. They do need to be careful for top lane though.
You see Fyodor going to the top lane, which means that Dandan will be able to get the turret in the mid lane.
Teleports. They go for the flash engage onto the Caitlyn. Bernage being deleted there. And here is Ferglith in the assistance. Daikara also has the teleport to help defend. And it looks like they take out that inhibitor turret, but it might not be over. They are looking for a flank. They want to get somebody to get the nice bubble onto Amur. They delete him, but Donnie dies himself as well. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. They get the inhibitor. And now maybe they can get somebody else. Daikara in a bad spot gets away, and I think Nightmare's safe as well. Good knock up onto Muji. They want to keep on going. Nightmares does not have his ulti. They cannot chase them down, and there we have it. Inhibitor turret down. Oh, sorry, inhibitor down.
I'm really impressed by Dorans Alpha. They are so clean on the shot calling. Even though it was a really risky play, they just go all in, and every time they see an opportunity, they just go. They don't hesitate. They don't wait around. They don't wait for their turrets to get pushed in. No, they make the plays and go for the inhibitor. And you see that mCon has real difficulty dealing with it.
They do not want to let him go base, but then they're now in a lot of trouble. Has to flash away. Gets the ulti onto Ferglith, but there's not really enough damage to kill him. Ferglith just so damn tanky, but he's now going to die against Bernage and Daikara. Shut down there for Daikara. Gets a nice stash of gold. And they well, Dorans Alpha, they really want to defend this mid lane turret, but they have not been able to go back to base to cash out on that nice paycheck they just had. Seems like mCon is gonna shift focus towards the next dragon.
Yeah, every time they lose their turrets, they lose their inhibitor even, but they still get the dragon. So that's something they got going for them. Overall, even though it looks like Dorans Alpha is really far ahead, it's only 3,000 gold right now, 3,500. So it's not that much, especially with 3 dragons being picked up on the side of mCon. They only need to have one great team fight, and they can swing the gold back. I'll probably even get a gold lead because 2 outer turrets are still up on the side of Dorans Alpha. All the secondary turrets are up, but oh, this is such a risky play. They're going for the Baron.
They are going to go for it, but it's really... Yeah, mCon is trying to respond, but I don't know if they're going to get there in time. Let's see if Nibes can do anything here, but no, he cannot. It would have been an amazing steal if he would have gone it, but... oh, Dakara. Looking for a cheeky move there. So now they have the Baron buff, they have super minions in mid. This is trouble.
I want to see this Dorans Alpha against Sector 1 and Lag on the Gerda. This is insane. They're playing so incredibly well. This goal was so good, and ooh, that's a little bit risky, but they get away.
Dicker, a little bit of trouble there. Maybe underestimating the power of Dakara. He is still 3-0-1, so they still have to be careful of him. Man, look at that damage onto Amur, but there we have it. Baron empowered minions pushing onto the turret. There's the engage, but they get a nice shockwave onto 2 people. They get away safely. Bernage and Nightmare so low, but Dakara in the backline gets a kill onto Amur. Nice rampage for him. And now in the meantime, we have trouble here. Let's see if Jack can get out. He goes into repel, jump onto Bernage, gets the kill actually, but dies in the end. And meantime, you see that Dakara got killed off. Now it's a 3-3, but they have to defend that mid lane, so they have enough time. I think not that Dorans Alpha can pick up the next inhibitor turret.
Yeah, they will definitely go for this turret, and Dakara jumping away from the Ash Arrow from Cypher, but he was going in a straight line, so the Ash Arrow landed, and then
he gets low, but it's Donnie in his own against Silver, and Ferglift gets killed off. I almost thought that Dan could make a play, but he did not have his ulti available. If he would have had it, he could have made such a nice play, but now Dorans is onto the
going
Nexus
for the finish. That was not a good play by Dan, and he should not have gone in there, because this gives the opportunity for Dorans to really finish the game right now. Galileo is so tanky. There are so many super minions that are powered by Baron, and can they finish the game right there?
Yeah, Ferglift is just tanking up everything, and they do finish it. What a game from Dorans Alpha.
Wow.
Holy, that was pretty insane out of them.
I just keep repeating it, but I'm just so impressed by Dorans Alpha. This is just so much better than we've seen so far from them. They've won twice. They played well, but they were making a lot of mistakes still. They were not that decisive on their calls there. Warding was improving, but it wasn't there yet. And this game, they just were so on point. All their calls, they just followed up every time, and they were making the plays. They were making the calls, and it was just so decisive.
Yeah, and like the goal difference wasn't too big. In the end, it was 8,000 gold in total. But during the game, it was only a couple thousand most of the time. So it really their big difference or their big spike wasn't in terms of goal, but it was just in terms of shot calling and playmaking. Ferglift, he got a pretty good lead in terms of kills, but he got behind on CS so much that Dan could, stack up a lot of items. But, because of the team composition of Dorans Alpha, there wasn't really a lot he could do with it by the looks of it.
No, and this is really, it comes back to team compositions, and you saw that mCon really wanted to get a split push going, and at the start it really seemed to be working out. You had LeBlanc that was pushing in Orianna, so they had advantage there. Dan was like almost 40 to 50 CS ahead of Galio, so he was really putting on a lot of pressure and getting a lot of gold, but he even finishes the game with 113 CS lead over Fedor, over Fyodor. But that doesn't matter when Dorans Alpha also knows what they have to do, and that is getting the picks, getting the team fights. And mCon was just overextending sometimes, getting hit by an Ash Arrow, getting hit by a Root, getting hit by a Cocoon, and every time that happened, they lost so much pressure every single time they got caught. it puts them back 30 to 60 seconds in the split push again. It gives the opportunity for Dorans Alpha to go and find the next fight.
Yeah, so I mean, 3 weeks in, Dorans Alpha up 3-0. They have yet a game to lose. Let's see how they played against Asterion so far in Avenue, and now mCon. So they still have to go up against Lagnagerdas and Sector 1. As you said, you really want to see them play against them. I think it could be a really interesting match. I mean, what we've seen from Dorans Alpha is pretty impressive so far.
Yeah. Sadly, those two games will be in the last 2 weeks. So,
all right.
Dorans Alpha going really well, and the last 2 weeks will be really exciting. Who can battle out for first place?
Yeah, first place position, always a good spot to start from for the finals. But we're not there just yet. We still have, 5 weeks to go, I think, before we get there. So we're going to take a small break once again. We have one final match coming up. It is Team Moonzone against Avenue. Moonzone 2 wins up so far against Avenue, who is 1-1. So we're going to see how that one turns out. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you then.